Hello, how are you? Did you wake up this morning? How many did wake up? Let's do a small survey. How many 50-50? And how many they are full on? Who had Red Bull for breakfast? Did you have enough coffee? Anyway, thank you very much for having me. This is my first time in Sample, and I'm very excited. And you know, it's an amazing event. What I see, it's beyond expectations. So please join me to say a big congratulations to Natasha and her team for doing this amazing event again. Bravo, Natasha, bravo, team. Fantastic. Now, it's my first time, but I knew of Sample. I didn't know what to expect, but I've heard it before. So when we got the invitation, I asked my friends in Ljubljana, I said, how is the event? What do you think? They say, Sample. I said, yes, how is it? They say, Sample rocks. I said, really, it rocks? They say, yeah, it rocks hard. I said, it rocks hard. That's the opportunity to put my Ozzy Osbourne t-shirt, because this is hard rock, okay? Any Ozzy Osbourne fans? One, yeah, we will hug later, okay? And headbang, thank you very much, okay. Another thing that I've heard about the event is that it is the 20th year, right? So a very special occasion, and this makes my presence also a little bit more special. And one more thing that makes my presence very special, do I have a book there? Did I leave a book next to me? Down, next, bravo. So it's a very special occasion because few days ago, my second book came out called Advanced Marketing Management from KoganPage, London. And the things that I will be discussing here today are very much summarized in this book. Actually, me and my co-authors, we wrote this book because teaching marketing became impossible. What do I mean? How many of you have marketing degrees? You went to university to study proper marketing. How many of you and the others have heard of Kotler? So, teaching marketing in MBA or executive level for the last 15 years, I had a problem choosing a right textbook because apart from some, of course, cosmetic improvements and latest cases, the core is the same for the last 30, 40 years. So what did I do? And me and my co-authors, all these years I was developing, and we were developing our own materials for the book that we would like to have to teach marketing. And at the end, we wrote it. So what is the lesson learned? If it is not there, go and create it, okay? You will have the chance to take a look at the book later, but let's go to the main message of the deadness. How did you call it? The deadness. The marketeer is dead. How many marketeers we have here? You don't look very dead to me. I mean, you raised your hand for one moment. But what I'm trying to say is that we need a new type of marketeer. If we don't get this new type of marketeer, by the way, do you mind me being down here and not up there? Okay, I'll be a little bit down here and then up there. Disruption, okay. So, look at this. If we don't change the way that marketeers perform their job, if we don't change the expectation and the skill set for marketeers to perform their job, you know what will happen? Marketeers will remain, for a little bit, departmental managers, specialists, people that can do media buying, brand strategy, portfolio management, click-through rate campaigns, specialized. But this is not the marketeer we want. If the marketeer is not specialized and only dealing with his and her own department, what other role we can have? What is the new role that the world is asking for marketeers, but we don't have such marketeers? So the marketeer is dead, the old marketeer is dead, and the new marketeer is coming. Are we ready for the new marketeer? Did we prepare? Let's see. Of course, when I was thinking about the title of the speech, this image came up, but it is a little bit old style, and we said that Sample rocks, and Sample is very hipster and modern, correct? So I said, this is very old style. Maybe I should not go with this image, I should go with this image. How many of you have seen Star Wars? Last Jedi. All hands came down. Why? I know, big controversy if it's a good film or not. So there is a moment in the movie where Kylo Ren says, the supreme leader is dead, and the answer was, long live the supreme leader. Now, what is the issue here? Marketeers were never supreme leaders in companies, were they? Do you think that marketeers were ever so important in corporations that they were given the strategy, the future, the vision, the very business, to run the very business of companies, or they were kept aside in a corner to deal with the marketing pink fluffy stuff? If you don't like pink, it can be purple, fluffy stuff, I don't mind. Black. But the new marketeer that we'll be talking about finally can become the supreme leader. Finally can be the person that drives transformation and the future of the whole corporation. We are not there yet. There are some good examples and some good cases, but we're not 100% there yet. But we will get there. We will get there together. So, let's start. Do CEO like marketing? What do you think? How many of you... I didn't even ask, but thank you for this. So, how many know? How many maybe? How many yes? Okay, no wins hands up, not heads down. So they don't like marketing, and this is what we have been our impression for a long time now. But this changed. There was a period in time, a few years ago, that finally world CEOs started talking in marketing terms and appreciating the very core of marketing. I will give you some examples fast. CEO, Paul Polman, CEO of Unilever, in 2009, comes out and he says, there was a big statement in the annual meeting. He says, you know something, guys? We have been too much obsessed of mergers and acquisitions with what we do in the company. We forgot the most important thing. It requires us to put the consumer and customer firmly back. And this is an FMCG company. It's not some kind of nuclear reaction construction company. It's FMCG. If FMCG companies do not have the customer in the core, then who? And what he says, we forgot. We became too arrogant, too distant. We were too focused with other business issues. We forgot who is the most important person. Who is the biggest competitor of Unilever? Bravo. So, fantastic. P&G. So, CEO of P&G, Alan Laughley, in 2008. Organizational changes became internally focused and we lost touch with our consumers. So you have Procter & Gamble, you have Unilever, CEOs coming out and saying exactly the same things. Where is the customer? We forgot. By the way, why 2008 to 2009? What happened? The crisis. What does this mean? When everything is fantastic, where money flows and rains from the sky, where every product and service you can put in the market more or less will make some money, we forgot the customer. It doesn't matter. Leave the marketeer to play. You know, come on, go play with the customers. And I will deal with the restructuring, buying brands somewhere else in the world, playing with my finances, changing accounts all around the world. But when crisis happens and money disappears, all of a sudden, oops, hey, marketeer, come back to see what happens with the customer. And then in 2012, another company that it should be very focused on consumer and customer. Pepsi marketing, besides being underfunded, hasn't been all that good lately, and she would take steps to improve it. What do we have here? And I want to show you this, because this is the epitome of CEO thinking pre-crisis. So we all know Jack Welch, CEO of very celebrated. Of course, now with the digital age, we all talk about, Steve Jobs and Elon Musk. I will show you Elon in a bit, so don't get panicked yet. But he was the top concerning hardcore business corporate CEO. Hardcore for decades in the US. And he came out, he put his book Winning. And you know that in all these pages of the book, marketing is almost nowhere mentioned. Customer centricity is almost nowhere mentioned. 2005, before the crisis. So the CEO mindset, mentality, before the crisis, where everything was going fantastic, money was everywhere, we had budget to put in expensive advertising, consumers could take loans and spend money and buy things that maybe they didn't need, and then tomorrow they will realize and buy something else. Everything is fine. Who needs of customers? But 2007, 2008, 2009 created a huge change. And now, it's unthinkable that a CEO will not mention customers. Did you notice? Did you notice that all of a sudden CEOs talk like marketeers? Let's go fast. Sub-CEO. I see everything through the eyes of the customer, and fortunately, I have encouraged 67,000 of my colleagues to do the same. In the end, the customer must win. This is a revolution. It might not seem like this to you, but people like me that search and research management theory and attitudes towards marketing. This is the first time, the last 50 years, that CEOs stop talking about hardcore business, and in order to be likable to shareholders, to potential investors, to the stock market, They don't say mergers and acquisitions, money flowing around, big strategies. They have to talk customer. Other examples, Vodafone, the next 12 months are all about improving customer experience. They talk like marketeers. They assumed the role of the marketeer. Many other examples. LinkedIn CEO Jeff Weiner. At LinkedIn, one of the values is simply stated, members first. If it benefits members, it will ultimately benefit the company. Amazon CEO. We had 3 big ideas at Amazon. The first one is put the customer first. By the way, you know that in the board meetings, Bezos has an empty chair. So the board directors are sitting around, there is an empty chair. Who's the empty chair for? This is amazing because he creates this mindset, this perception that, we talk internally. But what if the customer was sitting there? What would the customer say? And this all of a sudden put you in a different position to think of the customer before you speak. This is amazing stuff. As I said, first time in the last 40, 50 years, Alibaba, it's customer number 1, employees number 1, customers number 1, employees number 2, shareholders number 3. Airbnb, CEO, my favorite, love. CEO, love is the biggest priority of our company because we're in the business of delivering amazing experience. CEO, love. Like I slept and I woke up in a different world. A CEO will come and say, we are about love. And not only this, he's right. Okay, he's very right. And what did I promise you? But this picture is better, you have to say. We love our idols, but we love also to make fun of them, okay? If you haven't seen the interview in Just Rogan, go and watch it. So, very famously, and this was his first, because now he has done it many times. A Tesla customer puts in a tweets that, hey, Elon Musk, San Mateo Superchargers is always full with idiots who leave their Tesla for hours, even already charged. So there are charging locations, and Tesla drivers go to charge, but leave it there to park. And you go with another Tesla car, and you cannot find to recharge your car. And Elon Musk replies, you are right, this is becoming an issue. Supercharger spots are meant for charging, not parking. We'll take action. It took him 6 days to change and improve the situation. Where is the marketeer? Do you see any marketeer? So look what the new CEO, not the old one, the new CEO is. The new CEO performs traditional marketing function steps, processes, tasks, without being the CMO, being the CEO. So the fact that Elon Musk listened to the customer, which traditional marketing process is this? The fact that he saw what customers are saying, how do we call this in marketing? When we try to find out what customers think? Research. So he performed research. He replied. He went to solve the problem, product development. He solved the problem, he delivered it, and he came out with PR and communications to say, I solved it. So all the things that marketeers used to do, and we were very proud because we were the only ones, the other were dealing with serious business stuff. We had our own kingdom. They now take over. The CEOs now are more marketeers than the CMOs, which should be fantastic for marketing. It should be the best time ever, correct? Before CEOs said, go marketeer, play. Now, they're proud to talk about love. They're proud to talk directly, direct marketing, yeah? To talk directly to a customer and solve the problem. So CEOs love marketing, but now you will see the paradox. But do they like marketeers? Don't equate marketing with marketeers. Let's see. 80% of CEOs do not really trust marketeers. A study in 3 continents, it found that 80% of CEOs do not like marketeers. The same 91% of CEOs like CFOs. They're buddies, huh? And they love also CIOs. So although the CEOs love marketing, understand the importance of customer centricity, customer engagement, they want to talk about experience and all these wonderful things that have to do as human beings to human beings service. But when it comes to the marketing department, there is a complete different story. Okay. Look at this. Average tenure and age of the C-suite. So what this says, C-suite, CEO, CFO, CIO, UFO, I don't know, all of them. Okay. Look at this. Average is 5.3 years in the position. Who stays less in the position? Who stays less? The marketeer. What does this mean? Not only marketeer go play, but you didn't play very well, let's change. Why companies change marketeers more often than any other head of function? Why? What's the problem with marketing? Not with marketing, with marketeers. Whenever there is a crisis, which budget is to go first? All together? Marketing, bravo. Then the second one? The second one is people development, HR training. And both marketing and HR deal with what? People. Okay, so we will get to this problem. Harvard Business Review, the trouble with CMOs. The top marketing job in the company is a minefield where many talented executives fail. What is happening? So marketing is becoming more important than ever, but marketeers are losing. Why? Why? What is this strange thing? Which we call in the book, and in some publications, the marketing paradox. Marketing has become more important than ever, but marketeers do not follow the trend. So this is the marketing paradox. Why though? Let's see some reasons why marketeers are not liked. First of all, and this is from the 1900s, I know that when I spend money in my marketing campaigns or activities, it works. But 50% doesn't work. The problem is I cannot separate the 50 from the 50, which means what? Science, or how do we say? We say marketing is half science, half art. So when you go to the CEO and say, hey, but my CEO, this is half science, half art, what the CEO should say? Go play to some art space, not in my company, with my money. So this is a key issue with marketing predictability of results, okay? We cannot be as CFOs. CFO creates an Excel in the night, comes in the morning, the Excel is the same. We can do the same campaign 2 times, very successful, and 1 time great, the other unsuccessful. Why? Because we deal with people. That is our excuse. It's not an excuse anymore, as you saw with eye tracking before and some other things that I will show you. So the first thing is unpredictability of marketing efforts because we deal with people. Why CMOs never last? But unlike CFOs, CHROs, and CIOs, whose roles are primarily inward-facing, CMOs have a different... We look at customers, but look at this. Every new CMO that comes in, what does he or she do? New brand strategy. We have to change the agencies. The agencies were with the previous. So we always make these changes, and they are problematic. They are very risky. They take a lot of money. They don't always succeed. But the companies still recycle marketeers. We recycle marketeers. Come, go, come, go, come, go. Okay. So 74%, there is a study by a global group, and now it is even publicized. When I was showing these numbers a few years ago, it was not public, but now it's public. 74% of all brands disappeared, people wouldn't give a damn. Where is brand loyalty? When did we spend more on brand loyalty? Today or 30 years ago? We are obsessed with loyalty, with experience, with brand relationships. But it's not working, obviously. Another study shows that only 1% of customers say that only 1% of companies give them consistently good customer service. It varies. One day have good customer service, the other day it doesn't. So when you see things like this, I'm sure that in every conference you have seen this. I had to have it also. Or this, who thought of this anyway? Or this, it's not reality. It's the small outlier that we all see, the exception that then you think, loyalty today is stronger than ever. Actually, loyalty today is in the lowest levels since we're measuring loyalty. I will show you. So there is this study by Fidelum and partners from many different services around Europe. You will see that the only brand that achieved loyalty status with 5.2% score is your mail service. Second is the National Health Service. Of course, banks are always down to hell. You see, they're always the last one. So loyalty is becoming more and more difficult, regardless of our efforts that we spend more money in loyalty. Also, another study in the US showed that studying, I think, 2,000, if I remember correctly, 2,000 products in the supermarket, they found out that more and more customers go for the no preference offer. They're more and more maybe habitually loyal, but not emotionally loyal, because we have different types of loyalty. There is loyalty where you just buy something habitually, you don't want to think about it. And there is other type of loyalty where you tattoo the brand. The habitual loyalty might be there, but the one that you tattoo the brand is less and less than ever before. which is a paradox because I'm sure you think differently. You think that now people are really passionate about what they buy. It's exactly the opposite. Maybe there's one or two products, but in many categories it's not. So commodities. More and more products and services are becoming commodities. They're all the same. Everything can be copied. How can you be different from your competition? I'm sure now there is the same room with the same people, with the same presentation, cloned in China. Nothing cannot, it's not like the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, that if you had a product, you protected it. Everything can be copied. Any tangible advantage you can have, tomorrow somebody else can have it. So what makes us different? And then, of course, we'll discuss relationships, loyalty, branding, but we are failing. So my point here is, marketeers are not doing a good job to be loved by CEOs. At the same time, CEOs love marketing. So there is a fantastic opportunity for marketeers to shine, but we are failing. We are failing hard and very bad. What the hell is happening? What the hell is happening? Okay, very fast. I will tell you what's happening when we are authentic and true. Are we true? Do we say the truth as marketeers? Or fake news? Two examples very fast to see that it is fake news. There is a guy works in a company with spirits, alcoholic spirits. The company wants to discontinue, to kill completely this product. He says, let me take it. It was 1980s. I feel some. Everybody was saying, don't do it, don't do it. You will have a failed product in your CV. No, I like it. I might do something. He took it. The product, nobody liked it. The taste was bad. The packaging was bad. The branding, nobody. And he makes it the number 2 alcoholic drink in the world, number 1 in its category. And the drink is, this is tricky. Don't take... It's not served in this kind of glasses. It's Absolute. You would not know now Absolute. So the guy, Michel Roux, a marketing legend, goes to a conference. And of course, what do we want, all of us? Don't we want the golden recipe, the manual, the surprising 3 easy steps of blah, blah? Half of LinkedIn articles are called like this. The surprising truth about becoming. You know what he said? They asked him, how did you do it? And he said, if I knew that, I would do it again and again. What did he honestly say? He achieved huge success. Wet dream of marketeers. To take a brand that was to die and all of a sudden to become big. You might say this is old. What about now? BMW had a problem with millennials. Millennials did not consider BMW as a cool brand. They were not even considering it in this consideration set. And they said, we have to do something to reconnect with younger people. We have to include them in the customer journey, life cycle of the customer as early as possible. If we leave them to decide about BMW later, when they're 35, 40, they might already buy something else because they bought something else before, which they like, and they continue with the same brand. Maybe upgrade a little bit. So we need to include the customers earlier, as much earlier as we can, within the consideration set and the life cycle. What do? They film, which we don't have the time to show you today, a fantastic video, viral video. They issued it, and it is called the Epic Drift Mob. Amazing video. It has 15 million views at the moment. So how did it do? It reached 12.3 million just 2 weeks after, increased word of mouth, and the possibility of buying the car by millennials. Successful. This is the guy behind the campaign. Look what he says. He says he wishes social media engagement is a talent he could do on demand. He says if something is even a little off, it becomes irrelevant. He constantly has to remind people not to expect something to go viral, which is the exactly opposite of what consultants do. What do consultants do? I have the golden thing. I have success. I know it is measurable. No, it's not. We fool ourselves. We completely fool ourselves. This is why CEOs don't like us. Because we consistently fool ourselves and the people around us with fake and false hopes. If we are open, if we are honest, this is what we will say. If I knew how to do this on a daily basis, I would not be sitting here. So you have Michel Roux from the 80s and 90s. You have Reisinger from now, 2010 and onwards, with huge success, not average success, not mediocre success, not the success of marketers, which we are very good. You know, marketers, how good we are to give a success according to the trend. So the trend goes like this, and we're plus minus to the trend line. Fantastic. Almost everybody can do it. I mean, companies have amazing processes. They have very carefully designed everything. They have checks and balances. Of course, we will not fail completely. But I'm not talking about this kind of marketeer. I'm not talking about this kind of marketeer. The world and the companies don't need this mediocre, predictable, plus minus 0.2% success rate. We are talking about marketeers like them, that they will take a real problem and solve it big time. Can we do it? And now the excuse comes in. Nikos, half science, half art. But somebody pays for this art. So this is the problem. The problem is that do we know? Do we have predictable and reliable processes, methods, steps by which marketeers can succeed? You can tell me we have many, but did they always work? I think the less of the times work. Okay, so what is happening? What is happening? We really need to go to the new transformational leaders. Marketeers are leaders. Not marketeers as departmental experts and managers, but marketeers are transformational and disruptive leaders for the whole corporations. This is the marketeers we want. This is the marketeers we need. We need them. We know we need them. There are people out there saying we need these kind of marketeers, but we cannot find them. So these transformational CMOs are unfortunately in short supply. There are many CMOs. How many of them are really up to the task? Okay. So what can we do? I will go fast in our solution. We described the problem. We saw the paradox. How can we solve the issue? How can we provide now marketeers that are really transformational leaders? We describe this in the model that we have in the book. So we suggest 4 new skills that are not taught in most of business schools and marketing, lectures. Maybe somebody is mentioning it here, but not in a systematic, deep way. So we need neuroscience skills. I mean, I'm the CEO of a neuroscience company. We applied it in marketing, neuromarketing. And if you think neuromarketing is scary, wait until we talk about neuro-HR, which is now a big thing that we do. Okay, so neuroscience, predictive skills, data intelligence, innovation skills, creative thinking, adaptability skills, which is about complexity and decision making. If we put these skills in the marketing profession, and then we update a little bit some old concepts like the 4 Ps, which we have updated them, and we make a new marketing department, I will show you an example, then we might become the 21st century marketeers that we need. Let me take 2 minutes for each one of these skills, okay? And a little bit I will show you about the structure. So, the first skill, neuroscience, it's absolutely necessary. My first book, because this is the second, it's called Neuroscience for Leaders. It came out also in KoganPage, London in 2016, translated in Japanese, Chinese. You can buy the Chinese, I don't mind, version. Okay? And it is one of the top books globally on the topic. And what is the fun thing? CEOs, according to global studies, find neuroscience as a very important topic. Neuroscience. So this is marketing research now. Do you think it's questionnaires and online panels? This is marketing research. We have been using it the last 100 years. Where did it brought us? Half science, half art. Let's kill the art, let's put the science only. Or this. This is actually one of the EEGs we have. It was voted last year on the best EEG for neuromarketing. It's from Spain, Neuroelectrics. Can you read this? Because this is what I'm talking about. Marketeers cannot not read neurodata, simple neurodata. I'm not talking about opening the file with all the brain waves reading it. No, this is neuroscience work, but applied to marketing. Can we read this? I'll give you an example. So this is an ad which I will play, okay? It's an ad from the region for a product which is pasteta, right? Okay, or pate. You will see 3 measures. Top measure is emotional valence. This means, is it positive or negative, the emotion? It's extremely important. Because you see these red things with eye tracking in the middle, as the previous speaker said, eye tracking is amazingly important for focus of attention. But what is the motivation? What if my brain looks at something, but it hates what it looks? So we cannot have attention research without motivational research. We did a study for a big airline in the Gulf, in Middle East. Fantastic, in the end shot, fantastic eye tracking on the logo, the message, the worst emotional point of the ad. So we always have to combine, in order to have the whole story, attention with motivation. Look at this. Valence. These are now the new terms of marketing research. How many of you have heard of the term valence? You see, that's I mean, it's unacceptable. And we wrote a book about this, and I'm going all around the world to do speeches like this because this is unacceptable. This is the new marketing. Valence is positive or negative emotional reaction of the brain, subconscious. You see here, the third line from the top is neutral. Whatever is above the line is positive. Whatever is below the third line is negative. The second line is cognitive load. Have we heard of cognitive load? It's how much the brain understands the stimuli that come in. Does the brain needs to crunch more, to use more energy to understand? Or the stimuli goes in and is explained and understood and carried from short-term memory to long-term memory. And the last one is neural engagement. I will not talk about this. So what I want you to see, because this is the example we show everywhere, because it's an unbelievable example. It's a unique case. You see that the whole ad is positive. The whole ad is above the third line. We never seen this before. Usually ads are up and down. So it's the only ad that was completely positive, completely. And then at the end, we recorded the worst possible emotional reaction of the brain. So it's very unique. How can an ad, which was the most positive ever, ended up to be the most negative ever? Why? Do you see these two blue peaks? Blue at the end, this is cognitive load. When the brain said, what the hell? So there is a first peak here where the brain said, what the hell? But the brain liked it. And there is a second peak that says, the brain says, what the hell? And I don't like it. Let's watch it.
Znam da se o ukusima ne raspravlja. Volimo različite stvari. Ipak postoje one koje svi volimo, tako skladno ukomponirane da im je nemoguće odoljeti. Oko njih se svi slažemo da su savršene. Gavrilović paštete, glazba za svačije nepce.
What happened? In the first peak, what happened? Let me play it again. In the first peak, the brain sees up, and the brain creates expectation of reality and then matches to see if it is matching.
Znam da
so the
se
brain
o
sees
ukusima ne
beautiful lady
raspravlja.
playing cello, dynamic,
Volimo različite stvari.
her back, very good peak, and then all of a sudden, look, nice lady playing music, dynamic, blah, blah, blah. What? Paseta, but I like it.
Gavrilović paštete.
Which brand?
Glazba
What
za
the hell happened
svačije
here?
nepce.
So, lady in red, red in red, paseta, brand, what? Small note, this does not mean that the specific brand is not strong or it's not traditionally, it doesn't have legacy and it's not loved. This is not a brand positioning study. This shows if your brand and the storytelling is congruent, if the one helps the other. Did it help? Did the story match the brand? And that's very important for you to know. Of course, we always ask people later, tell me from 1 to 7, from 2 to 5, did you like the ad? You know what score they gave? A very high positive score, which means what? The brain experienced reality by itself and it doesn't inform you. However, the brain will influence your behavior more than what you think about the product. And this is the beauty of neuro. Another thing that I want to show you is from eye tracking. It's from a real supermarket. Our client was an ice cream. The guy approaches because we have also these specific glasses that are high definition and have infrared cameras from inside to be very accurate where the eye goes. So he goes to buy the ice cream, and what I want you to count is to how many places this small circle will go, which is the focus of attention. It's 10 seconds. Count to how many places will go. The price, now he saw also the price. You know that it went more than 60 locations? Of course, when you ask him, what did you see? He says, are you crazy? I just walk, I see the fridge, I go in, I choose, I go out. We are not conscious of the eye movement. Actually, the father of this research, Yarbus, a very famous psychologist that did some crazy experiment to find how the eye movement creates reality for your brain. You know that your eyes always move? So look at me now. Please, all of you look at me. Try not to move your eyes, okay? Are you looking at me? Let's count from 3 to 0 together, but please look at me. 3, 2, 1, 0. How many of you moved your eyes? Maybe 1, 2. All of you. at 5 locations at least. But see, I'm not aware of this. And who told you that you are important? Who told you that you are more important than your brain? Which is a big discussion as well. So with eye tracking and this kind of technology, we try to see the subconscious forces that lead to behavior. By the way, when we asked him, did you see the price? He said no. But for 0.something seconds, the brain saw the price. Why the brain did not inform him about the price? Why the brain decided to look at the price but not to inform him? Why? What did I tell you? The brain creates an expectation of reality and then experiences reality to compare with the expectation. If the expectation with the reality matches, no need for any corrective action. So the price was the same. What if the price was 10 times up? What did the brain would do? The brain would say, hey, look at this. What? 10 times up, I'm not buying this. But that's not the scary strategy of the brain. The brain has a more scary strategy. The brain will see the price, will not notify you. You will go to buy your ice cream and you'll say, maybe I will buy something else. This is the scary, and for me not scary, but exciting new world of the brain. So we talked about neuroscience. You remember the second skill? Data, predictive analytics, the ability to harness all this amazing and wonderful world of information to make decisions. We are not taught. It is unacceptable that marketeers do not have basic software and AI development skills. It's a new world. We cannot just be and buying from vendors. You have to know. We have to know. So do you know that this is a marketing department? To me, it looks like a stock market agency. This is a marketing department with real-time streaming of information from all over the world. And marketeers are sitting there and seeing on the spot info that comes in, sales that come in, how the activities that they do, how is the response, and they make decisions. That's the marketing department of MasterCard, by the way. Okay? These are some of the technologies. I mean, this is a summary from 2015. I can't even imagine today the available marketing technology. I was in a startup conference somewhere in the world, and I asked young people, like us young people, and I asked, what is marketing for you? And 19-year-old boy says, sir, I said, yes. He says, it's software. And to me, this was unbelievable. So how marketing can be software? Where is the strategy? Where's the loyalty? But they are partially right. We have become completely one with software, and we need to be proficient in software. But it's not all rosy and good. I just have 2 points just to disrupt today's conversation. Former Google boss launches, comes out and says Silicon Valley is actually a lot of this fake news. She said, you cannot go about, she was the PR boss actually of Google. You cannot go about telling people we have accuracy of advertising. Look at this, what she said. You cannot go about telling your advertisers that you can target users down to the tiniest pixel, but then throw your hands up in front of the politicians and say your machines can't figure out if bad actors are using your platform. Google has been widely criticized for allowing jihadists, far-right extremists, and other hate preachers to post content on YouTube and even pay them. Even pay them. Because somebody watched the ads. Do you think that any of these big platforms, apart from the blah, blah, this is PR, blah, blah, we are accurate. Do you think that YouTube can guarantee you 100% that your pre-roll will not appear before a video of a jihadist cutting a head of a person? Do you think that their algorithms are so sophisticated as we led to believe? If this is the case, why both Google, Facebook, and YouTube hired micro-editors, 10,000 micro-editors? Humans! Where is the wonderful world of accuracy? We're not there yet. We are far away, far, far, far away. You know, I buy a lot from Amazon. You know which book every month Amazon is recommending me? My own book. The previous one. I don't know if you have kids. How many of you have kids? Okay, many of you are kids, but my daughter is watching, I don't know, she's 7.5 years old. She's watching makeup tutorials, of course, and me with her. And before the makeup tutorial, the Living Dead ad. This is crazy. Winter is coming, zombies. I said, my accuracy, okay, not to say. Okay. And the best study from Forrester last year, everything is failing. Click-through rate is 0.35, is embarrassing. General Electric, Procter & Gamble, Sears are auditing digital buys. Auditing means something is wrong, why are you not delivering? Havas Media Group and some others have frozen spending on some of the platforms. It's not how you think it is. There is a lot of PR blah blah in this kind of conferences. Not in this is the best. But in this kind of events, there is a lot of blah blah consulting, sales kind of speeches. But if you scratch a little bit, we need critical thinking, okay? So, Sir Martin Sorrell used to be the god of advertising and marketing, the WPP director. He said, he came out 2017 and he said, guys, I met with many CEOs of top companies of my clients and everybody says, where is the delivery of the goods from digital? They were complaining. So digital, it's not what we think. We need to think harder. The third skill, you remember the third skill, creative thinking. What is creative thinking about? If you have to tell me with one word, what creative thinking is all about, what is it about? Shout, shout, let it all out. I cannot hear you. I can sing many songs from 80s, huh? What is it about? What is the aim of creative thinking? To do what? Why do we need something new? You are close. You see, if you go back to the science, psychology, and neuroscience about creative thinking, actually it's about problem solving. You have problems and you try to solve them. Problems that are here, problems that might be later. You see, however, in marketing, for us, creative thinking is a cool idea that will win all the awards. For us, creativity is a cool campaign that will disrupt the market and will create online discussions. No, these are not the things that CEO love. These are not the things that will make us these trusted marketeers and leaders of the company. It's creative problem solving. If we solve problems in the best possible way, thinking outside of the box. Okay? This is what it's about. And just I will mention one thing. What do you think is the best emotion for solving problems, for pushing your brain to identify new solutions to problems? Is it love or hate? Thank you so much. So there is this very famous example with Post-it. You might know it. But what people don't tell you about Post-it is the guy, his brain had this eureka moment when he was singing in a choir. And he had the notes, and the note was falling down. He was trying to put bookmarks. It was a mess. But in the day, he was working for 3M. And one Tuesday night, one other colleague of his, he was giving a presentation about this new glue that he found that it can, stick and unstick. And he was thinking about, very frustrated about his choir experience. He said, but this can be the solution. Okay. And there is this fantastic, I hate it when, this is a fantastic campaign from the US, from the UK a few years back, and the US from Honda. This is the message I want to give you for creative problem solving. Let's watch it together. Let's put up and sing all together.
Here's a little song for anyone who's ever hated in the key of grr. Can hate be good? Can hate be great? Can hate be good? Can hate be great? Can hate be something we don't hate? We'd like to know why it is so that certain diesels must be slow and thwack and thrum and plong and hum and clatter clat. Hate something, change something. Hate something, change something, make something better. Oh, isn't it just bliss when a diesel goes like this? Sing it like you hate it. Hate something, change something. Hate something, change something, make something better.
Do you love marketing enough to hate its problems and change it? Don't think that you go to the office and say, what a nice office, I love my people, oh, I'm so happy, Hare Krishna is the best place ever. Wellness, well-being, so nice. You know what the brain then says? Everything is fine, what should I change? So when you sleep, the brain thinks about holidays or dreams about actors and actresses, whatever. But if you give the sign to your brain that this is really bothering me, I'm really, I cannot sleep, but then the brain will take, oh, this is very important. Let me work overnight and overtime to find a solution. This means personal involvement. This means you feeling personally invested in what you do and taking it personally. If you don't take marketing personally, we will never be the transformational marketeers. The last one, and I'm finishing in 1.5 minutes, this is the last skill we recommend, which is the ability to take right decisions. Did ever teach us decision-making science? You go to a university to study marketing. What do you study? Again, make marketing plans, media planning, budgeting, but that's specialized. How do you take generally decisions? What are the rules that you have to take decisions, especially in very dynamic and complex times? Adaptability skills, eh? Now, I don't know exactly, and we have to be a little bit like that. I don't know exactly what kind of decisions you are making, but I know the process that you have to follow. And the outcome of this process, because we don't have time to analyze this last skill, the best decision you can take today is go to Amazon and get the book again. So last one, I told you also we're recommending at the end some kind of new, because there is a big discussion about how the old hierarchy, which we call boxes and lines structure, as your company like boxes and lines, like this is the department, this is the director, line connected with these specializations, then down and then this. It looks like a pyramid with boxes. This is called boxes and lines organizational system. This is old. The new one is completely different. It's not boxes and lines, it's circular and networked. And a very nice one, which I personally like because it feeds a lot to what I'm doing with neuroscience, is that according to Harvard Business Review a few years ago, the new basics of marketing, we need to have 3 teams in the company: analytics and insights, engagement and community, and content and production. It looks a little bit like this. You can trace the article online to find it. So you have the orchestrator, ta-da! Not specialized departmental manager, orchestrator. And the orchestrator, you see, is around it's a cyclical model. You have the outside and the internal talent, and you have think teams, you have field teams, and you have to do teams. This is not the only model we discussed. There are many others, but they're very exciting. And we see this now. We see major reorganization of marketing departments, with some good things, with some not so good. For example, CMOs now are underneath somebody else that it is C-level. While before CMO was in the C-level, now you have, for example, chief growth officer. And under the chief growth officer, you have a CMO, chief insights manager, etc., insights director, etc., etc. So, if we blew it, I'm not sure we will have another chance. Being in business and both in academia and practice for the almost last 25 to 30 years, for me, this is the most exciting time for marketing. The first time I see CEOs being more marketeers than marketeers. The first time I see investors, shareholders, putting money on marketing ideas, not hardcore finance business ideas of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Everybody talks about customer centricity. Who in the company is best positioned to talk about customer centricity? Traditionally, should be marketeers. But we're not doing very well. We are not doing very well. What we recommend is critical thinking, looking through the fake news and the PR and the blah blah of the industry, and being real business thinkers and transformational leaders. If we do this, if we cut through our tiny world of specialization and we see how to position marketing in the core of a company to transform marketing, we will not only transform the company, we will not only transform the industry, we will not only transform the economy, but we will transform the world and it will become a better place. Thank you so much. Thank you.